All right, is 30 seconds long enough to wait? It's showing a viewer count. Wait for it. Oh, almond milk. Yeah. Because every time I have... I can't focus on myself. Anyways, every time I have uploaded a VOD from here... And Darkstar, welcome in. Thank you for the 43 months. Yeah, every time I start a VOD, or if I've transported it over from... Hold on, English is escaping me right now. Transferred. I literally just checked your channel 90 seconds ago. Yeah. No, it actually, like, the app is weird anyways, because if you set it up and then background the app and then come back and try to start a stream, it'll go, yeah, failed to broadcast. So you actually have to restart the app. Yeah, every time I transfer a VOD from here to YouTube, it just fucking... I don't know what the time frame is between when you go live, it tells you you're live, and then when it actually theoretically starts broadcasting, because there is a lead up to it. Anyways, it is, because I can't read time, 10:43 a.m. on Tuesday, March 14th. Welcome in, as I'm looking in the wrong spot. It's breakfast time for me, even though I've been up since like 8. I actually got up, immediately left, and was like, all right, well, the bakery doesn't open till 9. There's other stuff I'm going to pick up. So I'll just get up, go get this done, and then come back and stream. And drink my almond milk that I bought last night that I didn't drink. My Nomu Almondo. Yeah, it's almond something. I don't know what those two are right there. 3 kinds of nuts apparently being used in this, which is... It's an almond milk. I don't know what you would... Are there even 3 types of almonds? But I have had this before. It's pretty good. It's a little on the sweet side. But the flavor's excellent. And I have... Whoever makes this. It's milk coffee. Handy type. This elicited Natsukashi last night when Yuka saw it. So, and I might as well show off the things that I have that's not breakfast related that I bought. That I'm going to have to find spots in my luggage for. I think these are new. Mentai mayo pizza potato chips. The pizza potato chips are really good, but like mentaiko mayonnaise, ooh, that is going out of focus there. That sounds tasty. And I've had the regular Mexican tacos flavor of Doritos, but there is I gotta show this to my buddy Paul. There's a flaming hot version. None of these I was even gonna think about picking up today, but I was like, I saw them, I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to eat them today because I have more than enough to eat. What's the other thing I have in here? Oh, coffee. Because I have drip coffee, but I don't have any instant. And then a bottle of mouthwash. Oh, that's why it was blurry, because it's the background deal. I gotta start putting shit in front of me. I ran out of mouthwash like a while ago, and I bought a small bottle of a different brand, and I just ran out of that, so I need this, because this will come in handy, obviously, for, you know, brushing my teeth tonight. But also when you're traveling and you're just like, I need to freshen my breath just a little bit. Travel bottle, man. Anyway. Yeah, so how you guys been doing? I have been an emotional roller coaster. It's been fun, as I've just been trying to get my head wrapped around, okay, I got to get all this stuff taken care of. I'm going to have to do all this traveling, blah, blah, blah. It's been an adventure. The quiet phones and printers immediately blow up the moment I get your stream. Yeah, that's about how it works. No. I've been through, this is all Combini stuff, because there's a few things I got that I put in the fridge. Like, I know I'd been looking for the Black Thunder chocolate tart that Family Mart was doing as part of their Black Thunder, collaboration line. And I was like, I couldn't find it anywhere. I found the chocolate cream puff, as well as the financier, or finance. what's the Japanese? What was the katakana's financier? So I don't know the French pronunciation, but I couldn't find the tart until I realized, and I looked at the poster. I'm like, oh, this isn't available until March 14th. So I was like, okay, well, I'll pick that up. Lawson, I don't remember why I went in there, but I think that's where I found one of the bags of chips. And I went to 7-Eleven because they're doing a kare fest, a curry festival, with a collaboration with a bunch of different restaurants. And I hadn't tried anything from it yet. And one of them is a butter chicken curry with like a spiced rice. So that'll be my dinner later. Lunch will be the slice of pizza that you can't really see because it's wrapped up, which is good because it was all melty and shit, and trying to actually get it together. I got a funny story with the bakery, but I was specifically going down to the bakery that's near Aiko Ishida to get some stuff today. So that'll be breakfast. I got like one little small savory item, and I have a sweet item as well. I have been to the Sanwa a few times. It's weird because there's stuff there, but like it's a supermarket, so obviously you're buying mostly stuff where it's like, this is something you're going to have to prepare potentially. Their alcohol selection's okay. I found all the stuff. Like I got at least one more can each of the Hapikuru sour and the Schwabita sour on the Horoyoi line, because those I wasn't finding in. You might find a couple flavors of Horoyoi in a convenience store, but like all the other flavors they have, it's either been a supermarket or was the Mega Don Quixote that I had access to in Yokohama, which is essentially a supermarket anyways. But like if you're looking for baked goods or specific things, like supermarkets are only seem to have so much, which makes sense because the convenience stores are going to be having more collaboration items. They're going to be having different deals. They're going to have certain things. You go to the supermarket for other shit. Especially for like some convenience stores, you will be able to find fresh produce and fresh fruits. Kind of depends. Otherwise, like in Yokohama, it was, here's a couple of convenience stores for all the other shit that you might be looking for. And you certainly can put together a pretty damn good bowl of ramen, because it's like, if you just got like an instant ramen, it's like, no, there's a bunch of other items here. You can get the chashu, you can get the ajitama, you can get everything else. But like right across the street, I'm like, oh yeah, here's the Maruetsu Petite. Here's a little supermarket. If you go around the corner, there's a My Basket. There's another supermarket. Like I think there was like there's a couple of My Baskets in that area. But yeah, anyways, the bakery I got everything from. Crinkly bag. I don't even know how the fuck if it's French or anything. Rebelde? Shichimi, no. The katakana reading is Viberube. Open since 2022. The first store they list on their website is the one at Aiko Ishida. They're technically in Isehara. They're not Natsuki, but like that station's like, again, right on the cusp of, part of it's in Isehara, part of it's in Atsuki. But I took a couple pictures, but I didn't want to like look like an asshole. I already had, getting to the story I was going to tell you, I think everything together, I got the slice of pizza, the French toast, and I got whatever the other one was. Mini jamon, since it's got a harina in it. That was $173. The slice of pizza was $305. The French toast was $167 for a grand total of 648 yen. So I handed money over to the cashier, and I thought I gave her 703, just to kind of round things out a little bit. I gave her 603, and she's just kind of looking at me going, oh, it's this price. I'm like, oh. So I added a 5 yen coin on there to make it 608, and she's just like, 40 yen desu. Like, and I looked around and I went, sumimasen. So I get more change out of my coin purse and give her exact change, and then finally leave. I'm like, okay, cool. It's like, well, you'll forget about me. It's like, I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be able to hit them up tomorrow because I don't know where I'm getting. I don't know if I'm getting dropped off there or if I'm getting dropped off at Honatsuki. I'm not taking the bus as I've mentioned because I have 2 suitcases and I don't have the Japanese skills to talk my way into getting them to let me onto the bus and load up 2 suitcases. So it's like I don't care where I get dropped off at. I'm just gonna get onto the train platform, onto the train, and going to the front car or the back car where there's more open area and bringing my suitcases on. Because at the very least, no matter where I get on, it's like I can muscle those fucking things easily onto the train and just get into. If I'm hopefully past the point where I am not dealing with rush hour traffic, or I take a local train and just add the time because I got time to kill tomorrow anyways before I need to get to Narita. That'll make it easier. Then I don't have to worry about it. But once I get to Shinjuku, it doesn't matter. The train stops there and it's going to sit there for a little while and both sides open up. So it's like, okay, cool. I don't have to worry about, getting in people's way. I'll just wait till everybody gets the fuck off the train. Then I'll take everything off and then I can go through the gates and make my way to the JR end. I don't remember where to catch the Narita Express there because I didn't go through there when I arrived. I went from the airport directly to Yokohama Station. I thought about going backwards and doing that, but that's more transfers than I would like to do. I think it's at least 1, if not 2. Because I'm trying to remember. Actually, I guess it would only be 1. Because I'm thinking of when I left Yokohama. I had to take, I think I took the Minato Mirai line to Yokohama Station, hopped on the Sotetsu line, took that to Ebina, and then took the train from Ebina to here, and then caught my taxi. So I technically could just go to Ebina, but you'd still have to transfer. And where the fuck, Sotetsu line, where does that run through there? I forgot that was, anyways. So yeah, I'm most of the way packed, thankfully. Which is good because I'm literally out of room. I even got asked the other night. It's like, oh, because first off, Yuka was like, oh, I'll give you, like 1 or 2 pomelos, buntan, as I was told, because they must be growing around here. I know they have a field that they grow stuff in, and she's been growing stuff outside as well. But I was like, I can't take that with me. Because it's fruits and vegetables, and it's like they're gonna see it even if I put it in my checked bags. I'm like they're gonna figure out something is like that and that is in there, and customs is gonna be no. And I think it was like, oh well, are you not sending anything back? I thought sending back suitcases was what came up in Google Translate as we're communicating. I think the thought process was boxes, like parcels. Because as she mentioned, Chris, as well as our mutual acquaintance Abi, send shit back. And I'm like, oh no, I already sent 1 parcel back from Yokosuka Naval Base. That was weeks ago, and that was like, like a almost 9-10 pound box. Like that's the only one I sent back. Thank Christ I did, because I would not be able to fit everything into my luggage. And it's like, oh no, it's like everything else is going into my luggage. It's getting checked. It's coming with me. Anything that's necessarily important, like N Darkstar's copy of Disgaea 7, that's going into my carry-on bag, and where it's going to be, cushioned and whatnot. That way I can get it back to him safely. I don't think I've actually accepted that PayPal payment yet, because I was like, let me get the item to you first, then I'll feel more comfortable about accepting that money. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like your ridiculous friend who doesn't sleep the night before he goes home because he's just packing 6 parcels to take to the post office last morning. Yeah, and I literally wouldn't want to deal with that. Not like if it was summer and I knew they had that time off and it was going to be a lot easier. They go to work in the morning. I'm like, I'd have to literally do everything today. And I'm not worried about that. I'm not gonna handle that shit. It's terrible. Like I'm hoping I can at least sleep tonight, so when I wake up tomorrow, I'm feeling relatively fresh. Because I got a lot of, as you saw might have seen with the vlog yesterday, I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, I got like 30 hours of travel ahead of me. From the time I wake up to the time I get home. the time I wake up here, anyways. Like I'm hoping I'll at least catch a couple of hours of sleep on the flight, just to be like, okay, I'm gonna be tired anyways, but yeah, I won't be fucking loopy as shit. But I am going backwards, and you guys lost an hour the other day, so that's already been kind of fucking me up anyways, because I've been looking at my watch and going, oh, that's not right. It's like I'm thinking it's like, oh, it's this time back home. No, 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 no. It's different now. All right, I'm still finishing off the almond milk. I don't know if I need to shake this or not. Coffee, kohi. I just like the name, handy type. Some good English. Oh, I thought there'd be a seal for some reason. Oh, I mean it's not a bad coffee flavor. It's very sweet. What's the calories on this? 107 calories. It's not bad for the whole. I'm glad it's 230 mils, and they at least let you know right off the bat. Like this is the information for 230 mils, not the bullshit where it's like, here's what everything is for 100 mils, but this is a 350 mil can or some shit like that. All right. So let's go ahead and let me start off with the. That's been sealed up. Start off with the savory item first. I think they call it, yeah, what did we call it? Mini German? Yeah, mini German. There was lots of things. I'll have to send you a picture of the melon pan. There was at least 2 different types. Oh, they had cheese bread there. They had a lot of really good looking savory items. It's impressive. Because I'm just like, yeah, that's gonna be my bakery in this area for sure. Next time I'm here. So Foresty's still there. If you need something quick and you're passing through the station, obviously it'll do the job. Although after that, I'm gonna have to have hot coffee the next time I'm here from them and see if it is more of a redemption arc for them in terms of the coffee. That iced coffee was fucking not. You want to feel like you're drinking, what kind of reminds you of like cigarettes, which I know for some of you will not be a good thing to imagine. So there is little thing of like parsley on top, I think, and some ketchup. All right, let's give it a whirl. No, it's ketchup. Sausage is good. Mini German. They had katsu sando there. Other sandwiches like the pizza. The pizza was the thing I saw the other day where I'm like, I gotta have that. Yeah, bacon pizza. And it was fresh. Like you could smell it the moment you walked in. But like I got in there just after probably about 9:15, 9:20, and they open at 9. There's a snap to that. That's good. A bit smoky. Tasty. Yeah, for 173 yen. That's good. Yeah, I don't want to eat the pizza. I probably could eat the pizza on stream. It's close enough to, now that I'm actually starting breakfast and it's 11 a.m. I'm like, well, it's close enough to fucking lunchtime. I mean, I should probably wait like, after I finish this, I should probably wait like 2.5 hours and then have the pizza. I still got to finish off the rest of the the bootleg, especially when you told me what it was with the language on that Shirokpoi Block Thunder. It is white chocolate, I think, on that. So it's bootleg, even though it's an official product. Bootleg, rival to Black Thunder, but it is a different product on itself. It's pretty good. I got to finish off the rest of that package. And then I have the rest of the popcorn I bought the other day, but there's very little of that left. Because I was going to pack it away, and I'm like, no, I'll eat it while I'm here. I did find out that Jerry's Popcorn is it's a franchise thing. Like you can contact the company, you can get all the, the materials and the equipment together. They help get you started. They help find a place for you to set up shop and set up business. And it's like, yeah, hey, run a business, sell popcorn. I want to say they're based further south, but they actually have a facility in like Hachioji, so it's not like super far from here. And you probably get all the stuff there, and I think it's where you can also with like the bag stuff that you can get together. It's decent popcorn. I don't know why I had a. If you saw that story, that was fun. But that was just a combination of like everything happening in my head, and then just like, this is the trigger point, and you're gonna feel like shit. But like, I think the savory flavors would probably be a little bit better for that. Just because it's clearly oil popped popcorn, and it's got that nice crunch, it's got that nice flavor to it. The sweet stuff gives it a nice accent, but I feel like the maple that I got was not mapley enough. It is more of like a caramel corn, but hey, it's good. Maybe not worth giving myself a crisis over, but welcome to my brain. It's good. It's good. All right, it's a belt. That was the tape. It's the tape. Let's see the tape down there. Open this up. This one, I'm going to have to move this forward. Move this back, actually. And scooch forward. Because this has confectioner's sugar on it. I am sitting in the living room here at the kotatsu because it is a bit cold. Look at that. I've had a thing for French toast, like especially like this or the Combini French toast since I've been here. Oh, where's that box of tissues? There we go. I need one of those. And so I saw this and I was like, all right, we're good. I got to go for that. But yeah, it's been a little bit cold today. It's actually colder today. Yesterday it was rainy, but it was still like 15, 16 degrees Celsius. It actually, in the city, like I had my big jacket because it's just a better jacket to wear in the rain. But being in Shinjuku, it's like I eventually had to take it off because I was just like, all right, for the first time, it is warm enough and humid enough. Not summer humidity, but just kind of like, ugh, I gotta take this off. It didn't get cold again really until I got back out here, but it's a bit chilly. It says it's 10 outside right now. So 10 Celsius, like 50 Fahrenheit, something like that. I'm actually thinking about leaving my temperature stuff set to Celsius because I can at least do the Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion roughly in my head now. So I can just keep it that way and I'll be the fucking weirdo. It's be like, oh, hey, what do you have that set to? I'm like, well, same reason I have 24-hour time set. It's just how it is. Yeah, having the kotatsu, I don't have it cranked up really high, but this has been nice. This is pretty much where we've been eating dinner every night. I've had dinner here. So you got the TV over there. Like the couches are here, but like I feel like the couches nobody really uses. Maybe in the summer, but like I wish I had the space for one of these at home. Oh, there's a top table part because there's the blankets here. Because the table itself is underneath like a couple of like blankets, and then there's like a table, this table surface here. I can cover that up and nice and toasty. Speaking of toast, let's give this a shot. Once I can get it back off of there. And the bottom's a little like sticky, but that's all right. Crust is a little bit probably gonna be chewy. Like it feels dry, but I feel like it's flaky. I feel like it's also been coated, maybe. All right, hold on. Yeah, like I was worried that the crust would be tough or dry. Hold on. No, something's driving by. Oh, I think that's a trash truck. And this is like, it sounds like an ice cream man, except those don't really exist here, as far as I know. But you know what sounds like an ice cream man? The trash trucks with the jingle and just like announcements probably telling you, hey, we're coming through. Be on the lookout. All right, that's already done. I got my coffee milk. Or milk coffee. I did have a coffee milk at the onsen when I went out a couple of weeks ago. And me and my friend Will me and her went to Matsuda City to see the blossoms there. We went back to, it was an onsen, but it's not like a natural hot springs. It's like more, Sento. That was what, Tokai Daigakumae on the Otakyu line, which is like one station away from where she lives. And it's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 stations away from where I had to come back to. Yeah, I got out of the baths and got everything, done back up and dressed. And I was like, I want something to drink. And it's like, oh yeah. It's like, they sell milk. And I haven't had like coffee milk before, or the kind of the normal thing. It's like, let's have a milk when you get out of the bath. And it's like, it was pretty good. I don't know if it's confectioner sugar. It shouldn't be. There is, like the surface is a little bit crunchy. Like a bit of a caramelized sugar deal. That's really good. It's a bit messy though, with that on top. It'd be like my only complaint. That's not much of a complaint to really have, huh? But all right, I'll finish that. But yeah, it's been a weird week, as I just kind of get shit figured out. What else I wanted to do? I've managed to be able to get quite a bit done in the last week or so, and it's been kind of hard because my trip fund is not running low. I will be coming back home with a bit of money. Like, thankfully, once again, I was worried in the early part where I'm like, am I being a little too cheap? How much money am I going to come back and be like, wow, you fucking have this much? No, at least with the last couple of weeks, as I've gotten some more shopping done, I've picked up some things that I wanted, and just eaten it wherever I really wanted to go. Pardon me. It's been okay. But as you start getting, less and less, and you have less time, you're like, okay, where can I go? Where can I not like overextend myself? Because I don't want to have to run out of money. I don't want to run out of money. I don't want to have to pull money out. I haven't had to do that the whole time. I've just been surviving off of the stuff I have. Like, there's been a few things I've bought with my credit card, but I know I have the money to do it, and it hasn't been much anyways. Where, you do the conversion, it's like, oh yeah, it's this much in yen. I'm like, yeah, but it's like fucking $30. And like, all right, I can pay that when I get home. It's no big deal. Yeah, and just kind of like right now I'm okay. We'll see how things go as the stream progresses. Nana, welcome in. I'm gonna have a bite of French toast for you. It's good. Thank goodness for bakeries. But I don't know how it is soft shell French toast. That would be really good heated up, but I know it would also melt the confectioner sugar. We'll see how things going. I'm coming back to us. I was like, lay us. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of coming back to you guys. I fly out tomorrow afternoon. So it's a little almost 11:15 right now. I fly out at 6. Let's say 7 hours, 24. Like yeah, like day and a half, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I gotta. Today's the last full day, and I'm just staying here. I don't really have much reason to go back out. I had to put a little bit of money back on my Passmo in order to take the bus back here, and I should have enough on there to cover my train fare to get to Shinjuku tomorrow. I can use cash to pay for my Narita Express ticket. Oh yeah, no, we can go over that. I am not happy I'm coming back home. I'm ready to come back home in a way because I know I'm running like I of what I brought with me here. And as you start to run out, you're like, okay, yeah. Like if I was gonna stay or if I had more money, I don't think I would worry about it. But in a way, I'm just there's stuff I'm missing from home, and knowing that if I was living here, it'd be different. I'd be able to shift my mindset. Since I'm visiting, I am kind of ready to be back slightly to normal. But I'm also at the same time not happy to be going back because I don't know what I'm returning to necessarily. I'd be returning to what I left, which isn't a whole lot, but as long as it's not like horrible, it shouldn't be too bad, I hope. I haven't really asked about it. As far as the stuff I wanted to do while I was here, oh yeah. Let's see, I got to shoot pretty much everywhere I wanted to shoot at. So that worked out. Hopefully the footage is decent enough and I don't have to do like a ton of tweaking to it. Good thing to remember for next time is to have some ND filters for my camera to kind of block out some of the glare and the light because it just was really bright on a lot of days that I shot. Except for even when it wasn't, it was just it felt like it kind of was washing things out a little bit. I should be able to correct it. And some of the footage some of the footage I looked at should be fine. But at least within Yokohama, within Onomichi, I was able to shoot at those locations, and I have stuff to work on. As far as vlogging while I was here, obviously I missed some days, but that was more or less a success. I wish I had streamed more. Like if in hindsight, I wish I had maybe set aside one particular day per week where it's like, hey, you're going to stream on this day. So that way I would have had like 6 streams in this time period as opposed to like 4. Just have, one weekly one. But at least I got some of those done. And the vlogs, as far as I'm concerned, like they're hit or miss in terms of, I think, entertainment value. I kind of wish I had been a little bit more proactive or felt a little bit better about doing stuff in public. But that's just hard to do still. And you don't want to stand out as like, hey, you're the white guy in a very homogenous society, and you're also just kind of talking to yourself and filming a bunch of shit. And you want to be mindful about where you're at and where you're filming and what you're trying to do. So it was just easier to come like back here to the house, or when I was at Matthew's apartment, just to be there. That way you can just kind of set up and talk, and you don't have to fucking worry about it. So I was getting a little bit better at trying to get stuff while I was out to throw somewhere into the video. I got slightly better at using iMovie on my iPhone, so that's good. That actually made I feel like if you watch the vlogs, they do get slightly more competently made. Not great, but like more confident, I guess. I got to meet the people I wanted to meet. I really hoped going into this trip, and as I was planning, even the months leading up to it, where I wasn't really sure when I would be able to go. I was like, oh yeah, it's like Paul of Critical East Japan. I would like to meet up with him, even if I have to go to Yamanashi to do that. Thankfully, we just kind of met, maybe not halfway for them, but being able to meet up in Sagamihara, that was great. The Shot in the Dark, meeting up with Martina Kinkogi, I just kind of I just said, hey, we should meet up. And that was just in the Discord thinking, okay, well, maybe if I bring it up, they'll, thanks. Thanks, watch. They'll if I bring it up, maybe we'll just see how they respond. Like I didn't think much of it. Other than, they might say okay, or they might show interest, but it won't happen. Or, they'll just say no. And that's fine. And at first it seemed like, okay, well, they're showing interest, but I don't know what's going to happen. And, then they realized, okay, well, you're already here. Cool. And they reached out pretty soon after I got here and just like, hey, what is your weekend look like at this point in February? And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be gone this day, but I'll be back this day. It's like, okay, well, let's get something set up. There was a couple of weeks where, maybe it was only like a week, where we hadn't quite nailed down the time, the time frame that day or where we were going. I reached out to them where I was just like, hey, if you need to change this or cancel, don't worry about it. Just let me know. They're like, nope, we're good. We're just, because they were busy anyways, with a bunch of projects they'd been working on, but we had got that settled in. And yeah, the fact that I was able to meet up with them, not just as like, hey, like we hung out for like fucking five, almost 6 hours. I actually kept them too long because they were supposed to go back home to start working on a video that has since come out, but at that point they were still trying to get finished up, and they set an alarm for like 4, and I don't think we left the bar until like 5:30 p.m. I even told them, I think last night, I was like, I'm sorry I kept you. We should just thinking about, because we've traded back and forth. I don't want to share like a ton, but it's not like we're talking about things that are like really confidential. We would, kind of overthinking things like, oh, did we say stupid shit to each other? I'm like, I don't think you did. So as long as I didn't, we're good. I told him, it's like, yeah, I kind of felt bad that I kept you late because I knew you're busy. It's like you're sharing your time with me, and I really appreciate it. And you don't have to do that. And you have a lot of things on your plate. So, the fact that you shared that time and then you stayed later, I'm like, I should have probably been more proactive about reminding him, like, hey, we got to go. But she's like, well, no, I was having a good time anyway. So it's like, that's why we stayed later. I'm like, okay. So that's good. Yeah, being able to meet up with them, being able to see my friend Will twice. We got to be able to go to see early ume blossoms as well as some kind of early-ish sakura blossoms in 2 separate parts of Kanagawa Prefecture. So that was a good time. Like that first one was going almost like all the way to Odawara from Yokohama. So it was a bit of a trek to get there and back. Thankfully, when we went to Matsuda City, it's like, it's the same line I normally take, and it's a little ways from here, but it's not super far. It's a much quicker trip overall. So being able to see those people, hopefully make some long-lasting new friends here. That's the truck again. What is that jingle? Okay. Yeah, like I have to keep reminding myself of that. I know when I get home, and maybe even tomorrow too, but I know when I get home, like I've already been thinking about, it's like, it's going to be hard. I'm going to be jet lagged. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to have a transitional period getting back into life there, which I think kind of sounds stupid, but I have been here 6 weeks, and it's not like when you're here for a week, I don't think you can get a taste of it, but it's not going to be too weird getting back home. You're going to be able to revert back a little bit easier, as opposed to when you're going from one place, which is clearly not here, to getting here and being surrounded by everything, and being so entrenched in the culture and with how everything is, and only having so many instances where you can sit down with somebody and talk in your native language and not have to worry about, oh, it's like, do I have to, kind of guess at what they're saying, or can I catch half of what they're saying? It's going to take some time. Like I know I am going to respond to somebody when I get back home either if I get in their way or if I'm asking for something, I know I'm going to slip into what little Japanese I have and then go, oh, hold on a second. Sorry. Sorry. It's like, I just got back home. I'm dumb. It's going to be hard, but did I hit everything that I had on my list? No. Some of it was closed. Some of it was, I realized, farther than I was willing to go, especially by the time I was like, oh yeah, I felt like I could be closer. It's like even from my buddy Matthew's place, there's a lot of stuff in Tokyo where it's like you're still going to be on a train like an hour and a half because it's just that far. You're going to have to connect somewhere else. It's still quite a ways. And I wasn't willing to make the trip. It's like, okay, is it one thing? And I'm like, yeah, this is one thing in this neighborhood and there's nothing else. You could probably do more shit around there, but it won't be food related and you don't know what else is there. So you'd be making a fucking, a long trip for one thing, which if I lived here, I would be okay with that. When my time is limited, I'm not super cool with it. And that's just kind of what I had to eventually remember is my time is limited. So it's kind of precious and you want to do as much as you can in that time frame and what you have available to you. But you also have to realize you only have so much and it's okay. It's okay if you can't get to this. I checked off a bunch of things. There's a bunch of places I went to. There's a bunch of places that weren't, there's some that weren't on my list where it's like, okay, well, I got to go there anyways because I remembered them. Or I was like, oh yeah, what does this person have to say about this? I'm like, oh, okay. Like the ramen place I went to yesterday was not one that was on my list, but it was a place that Martina had shared with members on the YouTube channel. And I went, because I was just like, I want ramen. I just don't know where to go. And I saw that it's like, oh, well, here's this place in Jiugaoka. This is pretty good. And like, it looks pretty good too. And it's a shio ramen. I don't want a heavy bowl today. I don't want to, soy sauce is fine. Shoyu ramen. I don't want like a tonkotsu. Miso would be fine, but it's like, salt-based broth. I'm like, that sounds pretty good. And I went there and it was delicious. So, it's a place that wasn't necessarily really on my radar, but now I can mark it off on there. But the other thing I went to try to do was to go to the Starbucks Reserve Roastery in Nakameguro, who I already knew about it anyways. And then I went there and stood around for like 10 minutes and went, you know what? I'm not fucking dealing with this today. This is just not going to happen. So I went there, air quotes, but I didn't do anything there. It's just kind of how it is. Sometimes, again, it was like, this is my last day in here and this is not how I want to fucking spend it. So I just didn't. So a lot of the main stuff I'm going to have to remind myself of that for a while, where I managed to get a lot done. Not as much as I would have hoped, but even I was just like, 6 weeks 6 weeks is not enough. Not with the amount of stuff that I can run into. Like even looking around the Konbini today, no matter which one you're in, there's so much there. Stuff they might have all the time. And then stuff obviously that is only a limited time. Like you could if you ate there every single day for one meal for the same amount of time I'd be here, you probably still wouldn't try everything. It's fucking impossible. And that was one thing I really had to that was another thing I really had to be aware of and tell myself it's okay. I'm like, you're going to see things everywhere. Restaurants, shops, fucking small things in supermarkets or konbini. You're not going to be able to try it all. You don't have enough time. I couldn't do it even if I lived here because again, things would just rotate out and be like, okay, it's gone now. Or maybe it's not what you want. Like it's too difficult. So you just try to do as much as you can in the time you have. And that's going to be your win. So yeah, in that case, I have gotten quite a bit done. One of the biggest things definitely is it taught me that obviously with help, so without Kimihiko, without Matthew, I wouldn't have been able to stay here. Their hospitality and their generosity with sharing, their homes and allowing me to stay there. It's like without it, it would have been a 2-week trip. I would have never had enough time to do shit, because that's probably all I would have been able to afford in terms of places to stay. So, where was I going with that? Hold on, let me take a bite of that. The French toast help. But with their help in mind, this trip also taught me that I didn't have a lot of confidence about it initially, and that was, how well can I navigate things on my own? As it turns out, really fucking well. Maybe communication, that's iffy at best. But in terms of everything else, knock it out of the park, man. Getting around, and I'm gonna stretch my back. Pop my back. I can't pop it. Damn it. But in terms of getting around, in terms of handling a lot of other shit, A-okay, man. I did it. I mean, navigating is not super difficult for me. I mean, it can be even with the pocket Wi-Fi. When you start heading in a direction, like, oh yeah, I got to go this direction, and then you realize, yeah, you're facing the wrong way because the GPS is slow. So glad I had that pocket Wi-Fi. I had one day, and the time in Kyoto was just like 4 or 5 hours. I didn't have my pocket Wi-Fi on me because it was in a different bag that I left in a coin locker while I was out, and having full bars and full LTE and still not getting much in terms of reception. I'm just like, I don't know if that's just because I'm on a foreign phone, piggybacking through my network onto a network here that they've collaborated with and allowed me to get onto. It's like they must bump the priority down like really hot, really low. It's like, yeah, you don't live here, so fuck you. Everybody else gets priority on these connections. Yeah, it's. I was just like, okay, good. I'm glad Ann Darkstar pointed that out. It's like, yeah, there's people there. Don't try to hinge your bets on that. That and the Universal Studios Fast Pass or Express Pass or whatever it was were very good decisions, because I was going to leave things to chance, and had I done that, I would have had a really bad time. So that's something to remember for next time. It's like, yeah, always get a pocket Wi-Fi. And if you're going to go to a theme park and they sell you something where you can get priority access, even if it's more money, buy it. Because, like I said, if I had gone to USJ that day, I'm just thinking, oh, I'll get into, I'll get a timed pass to get into Super Nintendo World, it wouldn't have fucking happened. I would have missed out, and I would have been very upset. Yeah, other than kind of how shaky things were when I got here, because it was just like, you're just trying to get your bearings, I am a bit more comfortable now going into places. Even if they have a menu, it's just kind of like, yeah, if I can bust my phone out and take a look at it. It's even better if they have a menu posted outside. If you check it in Google Maps, you can see a menu there. Like, okay, I already know what I want. Like, I just point to it. We're good. So, yeah, it's kind of surprising, but kind of not. Like, I don't think I gave myself enough credit to how well can I get around here. So as long as you got a pass and you have some mild knowledge of Japanese, you have a halfway decent connection that you can access Google Maps with, and you can just go, hey, I need to go from here to here. So I've said it in the past, I don't know how people navigated around here without Google Maps in the past, because I would be lost if I was here 20 years ago. That would be pre-IC card days and pre-Google Maps on phones. So you'd probably have to be like, okay, well, hopefully, maybe MapQuest has stuff you can print out back then. Be like, okay, or you have a fucking paper map with you. So technology has definitely assisted me on that too. Yeah, I think if anybody ever asks me in the future, I'm like, oh, how hard is it to navigate around? I'm like, it's not. Just, as long as you got an address and you're good to go. Pay attention to directions, especially if it's like, oh, take this train. It's like, yeah, it's making you take a bus and a train. You can just take a train and it's cheaper. Just do that one. Be prepared to walk a lot because I feel like that'll save you money too. In some cases, it's like, yeah, I've had it to where it's like, oh, it's 10 minutes by transit, but it's like 15 minutes on foot. I'm like, I am just walking at that point. There's no why. Let's see. Thanks to the trash. Oh, let me see if I can scroll that. There we go. We just run around Akiba like champs or chumps. Was that supposed to be champs or chumps? Let's see. Thanks to my trash short-term memory, I've spent the years since 2014 wondering, how the hell did I manage to get around 99 to 2006? Okay, champs. Well, I mean, champions of buying shit when it was still fucking dirt cheap. Oh yeah, no, that's me. Like a couple of shops I know where we've gone into, and it's like, yeah, he's there for an hour. Like I think the 2 or 3 times I was in and out of Beep in Akihabara, I was there maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. When I went to Game Tantedan in Osaka, 15 minutes. I was like, I know things I'm looking for, things I would like to see if I can find here. Check the sections. Nothing. Okay, I'm gone. Like that's it. Like I would love to stand around here for another hour, but like it's not gonna fucking happen. Though he's in trouble when he gets back to Osaka, because Mint Records is still there, and they had boxes of fucking laser discs, and I think they were relatively inexpensive. So the money he'll save on buying LDs, he'll spend later on trying to ship them back home. Oh yeah, no. That's kind of the nice part, and that's one thing, as lonely as traveling alone is, you don't have to wait for anybody else. Like I set my own fucking schedule. I'm like, I will be here this long, or as long as I feel like I need to be here. And the moment I'm ready to go, I'm gone, man. Like I don't need to. It's like especially if I walk in there and realize, yeah, this isn't what I'm looking for. Boom, done. I'm out. Especially the day I was in Osaka, and the one part of the day. Let me finish this off. The one day where I had time to actually go around and explore because I knew I was going to USJ the next day. I fucking was like all over the place. Like I pushed myself really hard that day. And especially for dinner, because like I can be a fast eater. Sometimes I can be a slow eater. But it's like I don't have to wait. It's like once I'm done, I'm done. Or I go to a place like Matsuya. It's like, inhale your food. It's already paid for. Give them the tickets. Eat. Gone. Any ramen place I went to, like, especially Aoshima Ramen, I don't have to wait an extra fucking 20 minutes for him to finish. Because he can't slurp noodles. Like, I get it. I get it that the soup's really hot. Just blow on your noodles and eat them. Because it's like, I went through there and boom, boom, smashed that bowl. I was out. Because they were still busy. Milk coffee. That's pretty good. I'll have to keep everything here and add all this up. So I'm sure the French toast is probably about the same as... It's not as thick as like the really good like 7-Eleven and Family Mart French toasts, but I'll probably check it in at about the same calorie count anyways. Yeah, like it is nice to just not have to worry about it. Again, it's lonely. And there's been a few times where it's just kind of like, yeah, I wish somebody else was here. And that's why it was kind of nice when I could meet up with people for at least a little while and have a conversation and share some times with them, just because it's like, oh, cool, yeah. Like most of the people I met up with, it's like, all right, even if English isn't your first language, your English is very, very good, so there's no weird communication issue between us. And you just sit down and just bullshit, and it's a little lonely afterwards, but you said you get used to it. But yeah, I don't know. Anything in particular I need to bring up? Maybe not, I guess. Other than just how, yeah, I'm not doing too bad right now. Like last couple of days, like it wasn't last night, but it was the previous night where I knew it's like just being on that verge of my noodle slurping game is not terrific, but it's okay. I had trouble with the place I went to yesterday because it was just like this massive fucking noodles, so I had to like really break it up. Two types of chashu though, it's good. Yeah, like at least for a couple of days, I was like really on this verge of like I wish I could just have a moment right now where I could just fucking just fall apart, just break down privately, just to. If you ever had that point where you're just like, it's just welling up inside of you, and you're like, if I could cry right now and get it out of my system, that would really fucking help, because it's right there at the surface. And I went to bed like that, and it fucking sucked. And I got kind of, I mean, I was able to get at least some stuff out of my system last night, watching highlights from the Oscars and seeing that, like, oh yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once took home all the awards they really needed to take home, and just being really happy for Ki Kwan and Michelle Yeoh, and watching them just like, you guys deserve this. And Ki Kwan in general, like it's ridiculous because he was out of the business and then came back with this role, and it's really no longer, the defining moments for him is like being in the Goonies or being in Temple of Doom. It's like, no, this is your defining moment. This is what will, your career started here, but this is the moment that will cement your legacy. And seeing his reaction as it should be, it's insane how that's gone, but it's the right choice, because I'm like, that movie is fucking amazing. So yeah, getting a little bit of that out of my system that way. But like I've kind of talked about it with some folks where it's just like, I know how I'm going to feel when I don't want to feel that way, but I know how I'm going to feel. I know how I'm going to react when I get back home. If it's not going to hit me here, if it's not going to hit me on the plane, it might hit me a little bit, there or at the airport, or on the train ride out, as you're just kind of seeing things for the final time. Because I've had that happen before. Like the first time that I left here in 2018 and I got on the bus, it's like I had a moment there. And I don't remember how it was when I left in 2019. What was the last time I want to say when I was, when I was leaving Denver last November. That was rough because I had a really good time there, and I didn't want to necessarily come back home. And seeing my friend Brandy with their cat Wally, waving goodbye, and her moving Wally's paw and waving goodbye to me, I was just like, oh shit. I held it together in the car, but by the time I got to the airport and I was waiting, in the terminal, I was just like, okay, I gotta hide my face real quick. I gotta get this out of my system. So it's gonna happen. I don't want it to, but I have to be prepared for it, and it's okay. It's gonna be hard, because I am sad that this is coming to an end. But I knew the whole time, like, this is not a permanent thing. Obviously, you are visiting. It's just a long visit, and I'm gonna have to transition back into life there. And I've looked at LinkedIn a good number of times. Like, I've had one place that I talked to that had turned me down in early January reach back out to me and go, hey, we're still looking to fill this, you know, are you still interested? And I was like, hey, yeah, but I'm not due back in the country for another couple of weeks. So it's like at the earliest, like April would be the time that I would be interested in doing much of anything, because I need to see how the jet lag's going to be when I get back home. And yeah, it's just there's been really no response from anybody, but I actually haven't been actively searching either, because it just wasn't my focus. It won't be probably even when I get home, not immediately anyways. So I don't know what that's going to be like. Being back at the house, I still don't know if they ever got the mail key situation taken care of. I don't necessarily want to ask about it until I get back home, because I know if I ask about it now, it's going to upset me if the answer is, yeah, we haven't done that yet. Thankfully, when I got my parcels sent out, I'm checking on my, because I had something shipped from Limited Run that once it's in the hands of the postal service, I need to see if I can get them to drop it off at the door. The one I sent via Yokosuka Naval Base, that one, thankfully, I get set up to be like, yeah, don't put it in a parcel locker, leave it at the fucking door. MCG, welcome in. Thank you for the 35 months. Yeah, so I don't know what that's going to be looking like. It's just shit that right now I know I'm going to have to deal with, and I don't want to deal with it at the moment. I don't want to, you know, delude myself into thinking, oh, I'll put it off until I have to. It's like, it's not something I have to deal with until I literally get home, and I will deal with it then. And I'll be too tired to handle it right away anyways. So yeah, it's been a thing where it's like you're going to have to go back, and even if everything is as I left it when I came here, it's not going to be awful, but it's not going to be terrific either. And I don't know what the rest of the year looks like, especially having like this. I'm kind of worried too, because even though nothing bad happened when I got back in 2019, like in 2018, like I came off of this really high, this big moment, being able to pull off that trip then, and then I got back and, you know, things kind of got bad for a little while. So I'm also kind of worried. I'm like, okay, well, coming out of this, like, what's the follow-up? What's going to happen? As I spittle everywhere. But I also need to not be too negative or hard on myself. Like, things are going to play out the way they're going to play out. I'll get things figured out for sure. It's not going to be. We're definitely not at the end of the world. We're not at a point where things are really bad. It's not like it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this as a way of being able to stave off like fucking literally everything falling apart. I don't like professional life. I have no idea. Personal life, especially with most everybody being busy during the week and stuff that I had been doing, you know, like on Fridays and shit like that. That's not happening anymore. I actually need to get back to Kit and be like, you know what? I'm just going to skip Shazam. As much as I would like to go see a movie, I'm probably just going to I'm going to get tickets for Tokyo SOS for sure. But what was the Shazam sequel? What was the tagline, or at least the subtitle for the movie here? It was like Kamigami no Ikari or something like that. They have been advertising it. But I was just, after the trailers, I'm just like, I've never seen the first one, and I really don't see, I don't really see the point in seeing the sequel. Oh, maybe you'll actually get your days off back. That'd be nice. Yeah, so again, it'd be nice to move out of where I'm living at right now. But I need to get work first. What that's going to be like, I don't know, because I'm still like I have a feeling I'm going to make a post not long after I get back on LinkedIn and be like, hey, looking back for work again. But I'm going to be like, in no uncertain terms, I'm like, this is the shit I'm looking for. Like if it falls outside of that, or I feel like you're giving me a bad deal, we're not going to have too many talks about it. We're just, or just don't waste my time. I don't want to be combative, but I'm just like, I know what I'm looking for, and that's what I want. And if you don't have what I'm looking for, don't waste my fucking time. But especially being able to work on stuff that I want to work on and have that be kind of my focus while I'm here. I'm just like, yeah, I still keep coming back to this is what I would like to do. I don't know, maybe I'll get some followers, because when I was in Sagamihara, we did film videos for Critical Eats Japan, so I'll be in a few videos there pretty soon. That's going to be when he gets those edited and uploaded, because I think he's still got a backlog of stuff he's got to put out, because Paul was putting out videos every day in February, so I'm sure there's stuff that got pushed back as he was, hitting that goal for himself during the course of the month. So I will have stuff there. Would have loved to have done a collaboration with King Kogi, but as I've said before, is like they don't really collaborate with anybody. Like they're only just now starting to do like some sponsored stuff, which makes sense. Because like, hey, here's extra income. Like the ramen hack video they did recently was sponsored by Rakuten, so that's good for them. And that'll keep them. So they're doing pretty. I think they're doing pretty well, but they're still also, getting stuff established. I think they got new Tokyo tour stuff coming out pretty soon, and that's good information because that's some information I used while I've been here. So that's a series to take a look at and check out some neighborhoods if you come here and you've never been to before. So yeah, so I don't know. The future is unknown, but I'm trying to be realistic and know that I'm going to be sad, and I know it's going to be hard, but also having to remind myself that this was a successful trip. This was a wonderful trip to take. It was stressful. It was hard at times, but I've had a lot of fun. Even if it kind of feels like a fantasy, it's like part of the reason to stay here longer is, hey, what's it like to feel like you live here? And is that telling me to stand up? Hold on. I'm not standing up. I wish this wouldn't do it, because I've had that where I haven't hit my stand goal. I'll just roll my arms and that'll eventually go, oh yeah, you stood up. I've had it to where I think even with my hike the other day through the hills around here, I hadn't hit my stand goal, but I had burned like, 400 or 500 calories, and it clearly logged a high enough heart rate that it registers as exercise minutes. There we go. To where it's like, oh, you still need to hit your stand goal for the day. I'm like, hey, did you not realize that I've been walking for like fucking 2 hours? I'm pretty sure I don't need to stand up again at any point today, so fuck off. So one part of the metrics that this logs that I wish it wouldn't log. Or I wish I could turn it to like 2 or 3 and just hey man, shut the fuck up and just let me do what I'm doing. Damn, that killed my train of thought too. Damn it, watch. Fantasy, there we go. It's like, yeah, what's it like to live here? Like, I feel like I could do it, but obviously I have a very narrow sense of what it would be like to live here, because I don't have to deal with, city offices and taxes and finding a place and all the other stuff that comes with living here. But at least for a little while, I feel like I could just, I wish I could just, at least for a little while, I could feel like I do live here. Yeah, this one, the lowest I can set the stand goal is 6, because like the default is 12, and at one point you couldn't adjust it, which is fun. So it would still be like, even when you're asleep, it's like, hey, you should stand up, and like you can at least disable alerts period for a certain time period. But it's like, wait, you want me to stand up 12 times a day? And I know for a fact that I have done that before, like in the course of an hour, where I've gotten up, like had to use the restroom or walk to the kitchen, then walk back. And then at 10 to the hour, it's like, hey, you should stand up. And I'm like, did you not fucking notice that I had gotten up and was up for at least a couple of minutes moving around and doing other things before I sat back down, which means I clearly stood up this hour and, moved around. So it's kind of bad at figuring that part out. Like, I feel like with the stand goal, it's like they want you to stand, but it also feels like they want you to really be in motion. I'm like, not everybody's doing that. Like, if I could space it out to where every 2 hours you fucking tell me that. But then when you hit the goal, it just stops telling you. So it's like, well, if I hit the goal, then I could just sit for 6 hours and you wouldn't notice it and you wouldn't care. Anyways. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Again, stressful with the language barrier and stressful with hitting certain places up at like the wrong time of the week, and you're like, okay, cool, great, it's way too busy. That's and even some places, even on weekdays, being really busy. Again, tourism's clearly back here because some spots are just way too busy. I was even seeing, what was it, Tabi Eats that was showing off. They were at Asakusa at the temple there, and just showing the streets leading up to the temple, which pre-COVID were really busy, and then during COVID were like mostly shuttered and very quiet, and then we're kind of ramping back up. And they showed it. It's like, oh yeah, boom. Here's how busy the streets are again, especially on a weekend. Like, get fucked. Like, there's lots of places where it's like, I would go there. Like, I would go to Skytree. I would go to Tokyo Tower. I've never been there. Why? Because I know it's gonna be fucking a nightmare. Even early on in the trip, lots of stuff was quiet. Now, not so much. No, I could do it out. I could crank out 100 squats first thing when I wake up, and it'll just, if I do that and it's like, okay, you did it, an hour later they're going to tell me, hey, you should stand up again. Like, I understand why the watch does it, but it's also kind of like, it's like I just look at it and go, shut the there's so many times where I was out walking for hours, and it, like, apparently was never at a rate that it felt like it was me working out. So it was like, okay, we're just not going to ever bother you to ask you, hey, are you working out? Do you want to log this? And then there's other times where it'll finally ask me, and I just look at the watch and give it a stern look and go, fuck you. It's like, why are you asking me now when I'm not? But I could have been walking for 5 or 6 hours, and you just, because I haven't logged most of it as like actual workouts. Even in my fitness pal, I just go, okay, I'm just logging my calorie burn as what the watch is telling me for the course of the day. Like, this is what I burned. And if it's a really high amount, that means I fucking walked. And I need to look at my steps from the time I got here to the time I leave and see, based on step count and what it approximates into miles, what my like total mileage is. It's going to be a lot. Sitting at my desk today for long stretches doing paperwork / entry, and my watch will buzz me, show a sleeping shoe icon, and ask, want to do some torso twists? You just get up and yeah. But yeah, I think if I ever actually ended up being able to move here, and it's a goal, and it's not a realistic one, but I think I could do it. It would just be very hard. Obviously, moving sucks. Let alone moving to another country. But I think I can handle it. I think I'd be able to. Man, I didn't wear a watch until I got my first Apple Watch. Now I'm less like, oh, that's fine. I like having one. Yeah, I think I could pull it off. It's just there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of stuff that I don't know about that I would have to fucking find out about if I did live here. But it's nice to have the illusion. Oh, it's like I have my tattoo on my left wrist, but it's also, the tattoo's small enough where it's like if I don't want to show anything off, or maybe it's a time where it's like, oh yeah, I'll just hide it. The watch band covers it up fine. I think anybody else is out there. There's always times where it feels like I hear like water running somewhere outside. I don't know what that is. But yeah, nice to have at least the feeling of maybe maybe one day I'll be here. I also was worried too, just, the pessimistic side of me thinking, I'm like, when am I going to come back? And you try to fit more stuff into the trip as a result, because you're just like, I don't know when I'm going to be back. Like, it was 3.5 years between visits because of COVID, and you don't know. So you're trying to pull off more and more shit. You're gonna you might overextend yourself a little bit. I just have to also remind myself, it's like, hey, this is the third time you've done this. After the first one, you're like, oh, I don't know when I'll be back, but I know I'll be able to. Maybe I'd like to do it, and then I did it literally the next year. That kind of convinced me. Okay, you did it. That means you can do it again. And going into 2020, I was really not certain about anything. And that was pre-COVID. I was like, yeah, I'm not working. I don't know what money's going to look like in a few months, and I was really worried about it. And then COVID happened, and it's like, well, nobody's going anywhere now. So not for a while. And then wondering for a long time how I'd get back here anyways, and when I would be able to do it. And then it finally came together. So being able to pull it off was great. And then, again, it's like, I don't know what the rest of this year is going to look like. So, it was concerned about, like, when can I come back? Could I come back? Is it even possible? It's going to be. I have to remind myself, it's like, it's going to probably be a little while, but at the same time, that's why I took a longer trip, to just be able to do more and experience more and just, really absorb it. And we'll just kind of go from there. Like, of course I'll be able to come back. Why wouldn't I? In what way, shape, or form? I don't know. Maybe by that time, Matthew will still be here and I can, stay at his place again. If not, like, if they, ship him to somewhere else, they relocate him, then that'll take that part of Yokohama out. But yeah, and there's lots of people that I know have never been at all, and have never been here as long as I have. Like, again, it's fortunate that I have people in my life that help me pull that off. And fortunate that I was able to get things together to where I could pull it off. Would it have probably been more responsible to not have done it at all? It's noon. Would it have been more responsible of me to not have done it at all and just kept the money? Yeah, probably. But at that point, at the end of last year, and at this point in my life, I said, can I do this and still be responsible? And, will I be okay if I did it at all? And when the answer to myself was yes, that was it. I just said, okay, then we're doing it. It's going to be, having to put it together in a month, still questioning whether or not I made the right decision, still wondering what other people would think. I just had to go, hey, you turned 40 this year, and you don't have much time on this planet. You don't have much time on this earth to fuck around and wonder about things. Just go and do it. Handle that shit. And go and do it and have some fucking fun, because, if this is the last time you might be able to have this kind of, like, I'll be able to travel domestically, but like in a trip like this, I'm like, I have no idea. So let's just do it. And if it's another year or 2 or 3 years, 4 years before you come back, okay, then we're just gonna have to live with that. There's no way to change it. I'd hope it's not 4 years. It'd be kind of nice to do it like in another 1 to 2 years. But it's just, it was a matter of, it's a matter of, like, just do it, man. You gotta have fun. You get one life. That's it. Let's see, the living room, couches and cushions were making me nostalgic for the first minute of the stream, and here come those marvelous clock chimes. I did get a recording of the 5 o'clock chime with my other camera that I'll be able to put up. Where is your next road trip, Chef Nana? So I know you went to, was it Frosty Fastings that was recent that you went to? You go to more fighting game events than I know. Oh, Combo Breaker. Okay. You know more than I do. Is that I think for Evo this year it will still be just I'll go to the Goon Suite and hope that they bought pizza this time, since we needed more food and water. All we had was beer and undercooked yaki imo. But like I don't go to the events themselves anymore. Like even when I was here, what was it, Wonderfest that was going on in February? I'm just like I was gonna go to Suidobashi and see Tokyo Dome until I realized, oh, that's gonna be fucking a madhouse there too, because we're in the middle of the World Baseball Classic. So, and Tokyo Dome was full for those games. Japan did quite well in their block, so they're going into the knockout round. Unsurprisingly, they're 2-time champions. They got a good team. U.S. is clearly going to have their work cut out for them. Was the other night that they played Australia, and I want to say it was like a leadoff 3-run homer from Otani. He just clobbered it, and the place went fucking wild. It was like a 7-1 victory. I'm like, yeah, you're playing Australia. I don't even know. I think there's a domestic league for Australia, but who gives a shit? So I think I covered everything. Slapdash for sure. You know what? I'm gonna eat my pizza. I have it. We're right here. It's technically lunchtime. Let's see. It's bacon pizza. Though I guess if you don't like the floppy style, bacon and I think, what is that there? Oh, it's cheese. It was melty. If you don't like the floppy style of bacon here in Japan, or green bell peppers, it's probably not going to be your jam, but oh, there's onions in there too. No, it's still bacon. It's just not the streaky style bacon. More like back bacon, I guess. And even at room temperature, that's really good. It's one thing I didn't do when I was here. Because pizza places are kind of spread out. They didn't get Domino's, which I really wanted to, because they had their hamburger pizzas. It was like you could get a whole pizza of one particular style, or you could get the Quattro. It was Domino's. You get a Quattro that was 2 slices of each in different styles. Like one was like a bacon cheeseburger. One was like Domino's instead of Mosburger, Domino's, but it's got like the meat sauce and tomatoes on there. What was it? Big Dac instead of Big Mac. So it's got all the stuff that you normally find on a Big Mac. Like, it looked really good, and if you picked it up, but it was still like fucking 16 to 1800 yen. It was like a fucking small pizza. I think I took a look at, there was a Pizza Law that I was reasonably close to, and then I looked at their menu and I went, you guys are fucking pricey. So like the very first pizza experience I had here was a teriyaki chicken pizza that I got from the Mega Donkey. And then the next one I had was Hughes Pizza in Osaka, which was New York style. And, then I have this. The teriyaki chicken pizza, not terrible. It's pretty good, actually, and it was really cheap. Hughes was great because it's just big boy slices. Having those, like I took down 2 slices and 2 beers, and I probably could have had another slice and another beer that day. But and this is actually really good too. It's a kind of a doughier crust. This would actually be really good if you grilled it. Pizza Law. I am the pizza law. But that's pretty tasty. I approve of that. Yeah, pizza's just a weird experience here. It can be kind of expensive. Like, I don't even remember it being that expensive for the slices at Hughes. They were big boy slices, so it's like, they're like, I think it was like maybe 500 yen, 600 yen for a slice. It's like $4. It was perfectly fine. Out of the Western food that I've had, that was probably the cheapest thing I had since cooked cheese. Because Harry's Sandwiches was a little price. I think it was like 1,400 yen for that Cubano. But the beer was like 12.50. And then going to Chelas, I want to say the tacos were like 500 or 600 a piece. You can get it like a set because they had 3 different ones. Hell yeah. I'm not going to do the pizza la 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 la. That's racist. Cobra La is probably already pretty racist too. Yeah, Chelas, I know that was like 3,800 yen for the set. And they made 3 different types of tacos. There was a chicken tinga, I think it was a pork carnitas, and like a mushroom one. And then like I think it came with chips and salsa and guacamole, I think. It was like 3,800. The beer was a little bit pricey. I got the 2 meat ones, and then their special, I think their weekly special was a taco rice taco, like an Okinawan taco rice. So instead of having the corn tortillas, which were clearly made by them, but like I said, the guy that owns it is from San Diego. And they were like, hey, this is the food we're doing because we know we can make it. But like we're a craft beer bar, but here's some stuff to eat. And I was just like, dude, it's like I've been craving tacos for like fucking a month, so this is great. But while the other ones, the normal ones were corn tortillas, the taco rice one was like a bigger style, like kind of like the Mission tortilla, like the soft taco size. So it's not small. It's kind of small plate sized, and it had all the stuff you would expect out of it. You know, the taco sauce, you had the cheese, onions, tomatoes, lettuce, rice, taco meat. And then they also had, I put on the rest of the hot sauce that they had there. That one was like 800 yen, but that one was like a big boy. That was delicious. So it's like I had a really good meal there too. And they're not too far from Oyama Dai Station. So I was able to hit that up in a coffee place there, but yeah, like that one. Oh yeah, I had a gochujang cookie as well, which was very tasty. They had those. He was just like, it's like, I don't know about dessert with your beer, but it's like, we made these if you're interested and want to try one out. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Like, I'm still hungry. That was really good. And that one, yeah, I think overall 800. Cookie was like 500. So it's like 13. I probably spent like 4,000 yen there with like the tacos and the beer, which is, kind of pricey anyways. The more expensive one probably would have been going to Beer Boy in Nakameguro, but I might have mentioned it there. I might have mentioned it anyways, because we got coffee, me and Martina, and she fucking paid for coffee. I'm like, okay, well, I guess maybe that's the treat. And sorry, there's something on the table. Maybe that'll be the treat, and then obviously I'll just pay for my shit at the bar. Because she was like, "Oh, do you have 200 yen or things?" I was just getting out change to be like, I'll give you change. Let's just pay together. And I think it was just to kind of like make change. And she's like, "Oh no, never mind, I got it." And then what is that? Oh, I think it's a little bit of confectioner sugar. That'll wipe off. Yeah, and she had paid for the bill at the bar when I was in the restroom, because we were just kind of sitting there and finishing our beers and finishing off what food we had left. And she's like, "Okay, so you ready to go?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Gonna settle the bill up?" She's like, "I already did." And I just looked at her and went, "For real?" Fuck. All right, well, I get drinks next time, I guess. So whenever we meet up again, I'm like, I'm footing the bill. Like that's just gonna. I was just like, no. Like I realize I don't have that much money, but it's like you work for a living, and you're a creator. You clearly have a page. You have people that are helping to fund you because you have Patreon, you have YouTube memberships. But that means you only have like a finite amount of resources at your disposal, and it's just like, hey, fuck, all right. Because yeah, we each had like 4 or 5 beers there, and food. It wouldn't have been cheap. And so I felt bad. I'm just like, are you serious? It's like I have money on me right now. I was prepared for this. Damn it. Grab another. Wow. We're in the 90-minute mark. I probably should wrap up and go get some packing done. So, yeah, today is the last full day. Tomorrow I leave at, my flight leaves at 6. So I need to be at the airport probably no later than 2:30, 3 at the absolute maximum. I'd rather be there earlier because I'm going to have to check into my flight tonight and get there early enough to put my, check my luggage in. I'm going to have to pay for that too because the second suitcase I have to pay for, which is bullshit. They didn't do that last time. I flew with Air Canada, so cool. They get $100 out of me. I don't think either one of them is even over. Why does this say you've logged in for 1,178 days? Log in before midnight to make 1,179. Hey, MyFitnessPal, it's noon. Don't bug me. Like, get off my back. What the fuck are they talking about? Anyways, yeah, so I got to pay $100 to do the other one. I think both are under the weight limit, so I won't have to worry about paying anything extra on top of that. I hope not. I just think it's stupid. I got to pay for that second fucking suitcase, but like I'm glad I have that. Yeah, I need to be able to get all that in there. I got to find a post box to drop off my pocket Wi-Fi at tomorrow, but I might actually do that while I'm either in Shinjuku or if I'm at like Honatsuki or Aiku Ishida. I might do that there because it's not technically due to be in the mail until the 16th, but like I don't have any reason to have it. Like once I'm at the airport, I'm like I legitimately don't have a reason to have it. And they gave me a pre-filled out envelope. It's just like put everything that you got, put it back into the fucking thing, put it into the mailbox, and you're good. So I got to do that. I got to find a spot in the airport to exchange currency back. I think there's counters, but I believe there's also self-service kiosks to do that. So I can get all that re-exchanged, and then I'm gonna have to go to the bank at some point while I'm there, or once I get back home. Pardon me, to get that back into my account. So, and then probably buy the Darts Live home board that I have been eyeballing for a little while. So I did get into playing Darts Live here a bit, so it'd be kind of nice. Like it's a Wi-Fi equipped board, and you can connect it up to an app and actually have like more or less the full Darts Live experience at home. It's like $150, but I'm also like, yeah, it'd be kind of nice just to have that. Get better at darts. Yeah, so getting all that, getting through security. I shouldn't have to do anything for customs or immigration until I get to Vancouver. My assumption is I will have to go through that when I get there. So I had to do it when I flew through Calgary, but I knew I was going to be there longer, so they just had to do it. But it's like what is that? It's like a 2-hour layover to get to 2-hour layover to get to from Vancouver to fucking home. So anyways, I'm rambling now. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now. So thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it. I will have a vlog up tomorrow, and then we will see how that goes. I will try to have something up before I actually take off, and then I'll try to have something very quickly record it when I get home. If you don't see anything other than like one video to cover the 15th, then just know I'm really tired, and I'm not gonna have anything else up for a little bit. I'm not gonna start streaming games right away. We'll see like next Sunday if maybe that's the tentative date where I'm gonna start playing Ishin. Just know if I need downtime, I'm gonna take it. So, yeah. In any case, toilets the home edition. No, it's a Sega thing. Anyways, yeah. So be on the lookout for anything else that shows up on social medias or YouTube in the next day or so. But that's gonna be it for me, and at least the last live stream from Japan for a while. So stay safe, stay well, watch out for weirdos, and thanks for watching. I will see you guys again from the States very, very soon. So till next time, thanks again. We'll see you later. Have a good night where you're at. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. Bye, guys.